So our pre-season is properly underway finally, and well, I'd say finally. We did have that 8-2 win against Fulham in a behind closed door, sort of training stroke match thing, which was a great performance. But this is our start of our proper pre-season underway on tour in China, Beijing, and then we're moving, I think, to Singapore, which I realise is not in China before anybody says, where hopefully Murata and Rudiger can join up with the squad. And for a team that's just started their pre-season like we have, compared to a team who are in the middle of their pre-seasons in Arsenal, we were fantastic. Fitness-wise, we looked a hell of a lot better than Arsenal. Now, I'm going to say this before I get into the video. Take everything I say with a pinch of salt in this video. This is pre-season, okay? Let's not get carried away with that. So let's not get carried away with ourselves. Yes, we did beat Arsenal very, very comfortably 3-0. Yes, they were in the middle of their pre-season. We're at the start where, in theory, you'd think Arsenal would certainly look sharper, but we looked sharper. And I don't just mean fitness-wise. It looked like we had a bit more of a hunger to get the ball. If we lost the ball, we wanted it back. Whereas with Arsenal, that wasn't always the case. If they lost the ball, there wasn't that sort of intent to want to get it back. If you're wondering what team started the game, because there were many substitutions, lots to talk about, but the team that started was the following. In goal was Thibaut Courtois. We then had a back three of Azpilicueta, Cahill and David Luiz. Wing-backs, Alonso and Moses. In the central midfield positions, it was Fabregas and Kante. And up front, or the front three, Willian, Pedro and Michy Batshuayi. That's how it started. And we started really, really quickly, really, really strongly. Right from the blocks, we were out and performing, having a decent start to the game. As I say, it's pre-season. Let's not get carried away. But being as though this is our first pre-season game, is a very, very promising start from us. And I think as well, it's frustrating when you look at this game that we didn't play like this, against Arsenal in the FA Cup final. It's frustrating. But as I say, we came out, we were on top from the start, and we won 3-0. It could have been 4, it could have been 5. It was very, very good. And credit to Conte for getting them looking so fit and so ready. I feel like this team's already ready for the start of the season. And I know some people were a little bit worried about the lack of pre-season games that we have compared to other teams. But really, I don't feel like we need too many pre-seasons. We had the right intensity. We had, it was very, very promising. Very, very good, if you ask me. So, as I say, we started the game very, very strong. I thought Pedro was fantastic to be in the game. Then we had a kind of incident with Pedro where Ospina came out. Somehow the foul was given the other way. And he almost it was like a Superman jump. Wiped Pedro out. I mean, for me, Pedro might have concussion. Right decision to take him off. And then on came Jeremy Boga. More on him a little later. But the first goal we got of the game was from Willian. Fantastic finish. Willian looking really, really clinical. And I think he'll be very, very good next season. Gives us that option, gives us that variety. I think he's a decent player. And I think I've certainly seen an improvement in the last few months with Willian towards the end of the season. And now I'm starting to see a real improvement with him. And he looks very, very clinical. I mean, he did miss a chance that was relatively bread and butter before then. So I've kind of contradicted myself. But you know what I mean. We then got a Batshuayi goal, which was kind of a curling effort. Left foot, finessed it. It was fantastic. Great goal from him. And then coming out into the second half, there was a couple of changes. Willy Caballero came on. No, I think it was the only change, actually. Willy Caballero coming on was literally the only change. And then Batshuayi with a fantastic finish. Alonso came down the left-hand side. Alonso played the sort of ball, cut the ball back to Michy Batshuayi, and bang. Batshuayi with his second goal in this game, fourth goal of pre-season. Willian with his fourth goal of pre-season as well. Fantastic stuff. Michy Batshuayi is better than Messi. And honestly, I think, he is by far the best Belgian in the league for striker-wise. Let's just make that clear. I'm talking about strikers. He's the best Belgian in the league. Lacazette was awful for Arsenal. He just didn't seem to be there. I worry a little bit about him in big games. I said this the other day to somebody. I said, I'm not sure in a big game against big, damn strong, even against somebody like West Brom, whether he's going to have the ability to be able to power his way through. I'm not sure that he is. That's why I think a lot of the time, and I know people go, well, Aguero does turn up for big games, but Aguero can sometimes fall asleep in big games, and maybe penalties get him out of it, maybe tappings get him out of it. And look, a goal's a goal at the end of the day, but you know what I mean. So I do like strong players that can do that. And I just thought he was poor today, but Arsenal were poor. You can't just blame him. And Wenger will be worried about that performance. Is to note they did have a sickness bug. Maybe that was a feature. I don't know. Chamberlain, who have been linked with in real life last night. I'm not sure the deal will go through. I think it would be a good deal if it does, because he can play right wing back, centre mid and right winger. It basically solves what many feel like we're a little bit short in the midfield, a little bit short right wing, and we're definitely short right wing back. So it would solve those three problems. Fantastic. He's homegrown, he's English, he's versatile. It's a fantastic signing, if you ask me, if we get the deal done, which I'm not so sure we did. Didn't do much today, but then again, nor did most of the Arsenal players, so you can't really criticise him for that. Who impressed me today? Jeremy Boga. Fantastic performance from him. He's a very direct player. He likes to run at players. He likes to try and go past you. He is a very skillful player. His dribbling is some of the best dribbling I've seen. He really is very, very good. The one aspect of his game that he needs to work on, the crossing, the passing, the decision making and the shooting. I feel like that was the thing. The dribbling was fantastic. Him going past players and being direct was fantastic. But it seemed like he got to a point where it was almost like, I don't know what to do. And it was just that pass that needed to happen, that decision making that needed to happen. But Conte can work on that. And this is why I keep hammering in the fact that we do not need a winger. We have got enough cover. Pedro, Hazard, Willian, Boga, possibly even Masonda, possibly Chamberlain if you're adding it in. We don't need to splash, cash on a right winger as well. It's not a requirement. And I feel he played very, very well today. And if you have to say who impressed me the most coming out of that game, other than, of course, Batshuayi, who got the 2 goals, I would have to say that Boga was without shadow of a doubt up there. Willian, as I say, thought had a very, very good game. If we're moving backwards, the same. Batshuayi had a good game. That's not moving backwards, kind of moving forward. Kante looked great again. That intensity was there from him. Cesc Fabregas was running the show. We have to get Cesc Fabregas into the side next season and play him more regularly. He is a world-class player. I'm very reluctant to use the term world-class. I think it's overused in football nowadays. But Cesc Fabregas is a world-class player. And the way the pass that he did, when it's a cross-field pass to Tamari, I can't say the fucking name properly. Now I've said it like that, I just can't remember which way to say it. Fuck me. Anyway, played it across to Tamari. I'm going to go Tamari. It's Tom Mari. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, fantastic, but I don't know how he did it. And a great touch from Tamari. He nearly got a goal, but it was well saved by the goalkeeper, who I believe at that point it might still have been Osbean at that point. I can't honestly remember. Willy Caballero didn't really have to do anything. But it's nice to see him in Chelsea shirt anyway. So, yeah, I thought Fabregas, Kante were fantastic and they really, really worked well together. A lot of criticism with them is, can they do it against big teams? Well, they shoot a day that they were pretty decent. Alonso, I thought, had a pretty good game, actually. In the first half, I thought our wing-backs looked the weak area, and I still do think that. But I think Alonso improved in the sort of late stages of the first half and into the second half. And for the duration of the second half when he was on. Moses, I thought, was poor in the first half. But again, he had a decent second half and nearly scored in the first half as well. So he wasn't that bad. And that's the thing. I don't think Moses is a bad option. But I think we need competition in that right wing-back position, much the same as we do in that left wing-back position. Otherwise, you risk players getting sort of a little bit sort of carried away and thinking that they're going to be in the starting lineup every single week, because practically they are. Bar an injury, Alonso and Moses at the moment will make the starting 11 every single week, because there's nobody else, there's no options. Competition is good for a player. I can tell you that from even playing youth football as a kid. If I had somebody who I knew could get me out of the side, I pick my game up. It's only natural that you then try a bit better, you pick your game up, and yeah, I mean, I didn't really get dropped that much because, I'm fantastic. But what can I say? But you did have that pressure of thinking, I've got to keep concentrated. I've got to show my best. I've got to give 100% because otherwise I've got somebody here waiting to take my place. It's ruthless. In youth football, in professional football, it should be as ruthless, if not more. Of course, it should be more ruthless. And at the moment, I don't necessarily think it is because we don't have that option. But I think we could. Chamberlain will push Moses if that happens. And if we can get an Alexandro or even a Ryan Bertrand in, Many looks like he's gone to Manchester City, that will be good for Marcos Alonso. And I know there's a lot of Marcos Alonso fans out there saying we don't need Alexandro. You shouldn't worry about that. Look, at the end of the day, I think it would be promising. It would be good for Marcos Alonso. He could maybe go to that next level, playing with somebody who is top quality as well. fighting for places. We've got Champions League, we've got League Cup, we've got FA Cup, we've got the Premier League, of course, as well. They're going to get games. Even if Alex Sandro comes in and he is, quote, the first choice left wing back, Marcos Alonso is still going to get 20 odd games in a season plus substitute appearances. You're looking at 30 games in a season. If it's a 60 game season, he's going to get about half. Same with Alex Sandro. That's kind of how it works in a healthy squad. And if Alex Sandro gets an injury, Marcos Alonso gets a run in the team. If maybe Conte wants to try Marcos Alonso on the right hand side, it gives you that option. It gives you that chance to develop as a player. You should never ever fear a bit of competition as a footballer, and that goes for all levels: professional, semi, amateur, you name it, youth. Competition is a good thing, and it does bring the best out of you. Anyway, that was a long fucking thing on them. As for the centre-backs, Gary Cahill, I'm not a massive lover of, but he put in a decent performance today. Luiz looked good. Azpilicueta looked pretty decent as well. Did make one mistake, but, I can't be too critical. They look very, very good together, but at the same time, I'm not a lover of Cahill going forward in that thing as first choice, but I think he probably will be because he's English and he's our current fucking club captain. We then saw Christensen come on. I thought he played well when he came on. Clark Salter and Callis came on, didn't really get enough time really to make much of an opinion on them. Tamari came on, made a good impression, very, very quickly enjoyed that. Kennedy came on. I like Kennedy, but he was poor today. I can't lie to you. Carl Scott came on along with Mario Pasalic. I can't say his name properly. Again, not enough time really to get too much of an impression on them. And Lewis Baker came on, impressed me. Couple of good passes again, didn't get too long, but impressed me. I think he can be massive for us this season in that central mid position, giving us that little bit extra options in Bakayoko, Kante, Fabregas, Baker, and then if we get Chamberlain as well. So he was impressive as well for me. Remy, let's not even talk about him, although he didn't do too bad today. He just looks pregnant. And then left wing, left wing was Boga, because Boga didn't go off, of course, because he came on. So a positive start to pre-season. We move on to Inter Milan, which I believe is, when is the Inter Milan game? Let's have a quick look for you. But a good way to start pre-season, or we've already started pre-season, if you know what I mean. And Morata and Rudiger should link up with the squad in Singapore. So whether they play against Inter, I don't know, but they should be there. They might feature. I would expect Rudiger possibly to feature. I don't know about Morata. It just depends. Let's just have a quick look at when this game is. Juventus Barcelona, Chelsea Bayern Munich is on the 5th of... Oh, is it? Perhaps it's Chelsea versus Bayern Munich next. I think I've got that wrong. I think it's Chelsea versus Bayern Munich next in Singapore. So I think, being so that's Tuesday, I think it's going to be a bit too early for Morata and Rudiger. I could be wrong, but I expect them to feature in Inter Milan and then in the pre-season friendly kind of cup competition, Community Shield, against Arsenal. I'll be back for more pre-season reviews. Make sure you check out the podcast I did yesterday. It's been doing pretty shit on views. If you want to see my thoughts on Alvaro Morata signing for Chelsea, you can check out that video as well. And by the way, folks, starting next week, we're going to have double uploads a day. Well, probably not double uploads, but daily uploads of FIFA 18 even player rating predictions. And guess who we're starting with? We'll start with the champions, Chelsea. Thanks for watching. Leave your thoughts on the comment section below if you enjoyed this pre-season, who impressed you, who didn't, and yeah, lots of other stuff that I've spoke about. Hopefully Christian gets to play on Tuesday night. I hope he gets to start. But anyway, I'll have to wait and see. I need to stop this video before it fucking corrupts and then deletes the whole file. Anyway, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Goodbye. Whew.